So I've been thinking about heart mind. I think about it a lot. And how ego has played a huge part in our departure from the one. And that we're slowly but surely trying to make sense of it. Are we infinite possibility experiencing infinite possibility? When I imagine only for myself what infinite possibility may look like, all I can say is there's millions of doors to open. And I have opened many, many doors. Some have taken me down a dark path, but I didn't close it. Most people want to close the door to evil because they don't want to see it. And I think this is why we're having a tough time now because we've been sedated. We can't admit that it's been our ego, well, not just our ego, but the beginning of ego. Someone, something, whatever, decided to descend themselves from heart mind to just only mind. Now, I don't know what this being is thinking, on why it feels gratification through pain. There will be some out there who says that we need pain to grow. But if we already come from the Creator, or we are the Creator, however you want to see it, aren't we already loving and good? Did we really want to experience this? I don't know about you, but I mean, excuse me. In this go around, if you believe in reincarnation or being recycled, what have you, have I grown through this pain? Have I become a better person because of it? Was I a good person before that? Did I try, or was I bad? And then I had to come back. Because you see, some researchers will have opened their minds a little bit and have been saying that we're trapped here. We're trapped in a construct. And that our soul, which is pure energy, is brought back here to be fed on. And we have parasitic beings who siphon off our energy. And they got to keep us here. So no telling how many years we've been here. And I think really years are irrelevant. It feels like a long time, really, when I think about it. So who's to say we weren't good? Maybe we were good, but when we were recycled, the parasites are the ones who wrote our storyline. For example, a baby born into a household that has an abusive father and a negligent mother Or it's the other way around. There's always infinite number of scenarios when it comes to pain. See, I can't see a loving God asking part of its soul to experience being a rape victim. I just can't see that. That don't sound loving to me. And it seems to me that a being or beings had separated themselves from heart mind, and they are of lower vibration and have found a way to imprison us in part of this construct, this matrix, this computer simulation, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of mind-blowing, but it seems true. Sometimes you're angry over nothing. I don't know. It's one of those concepts that you have to keep going on in your mind. And how willing you're able to go through all those doors. Because some of those doors I didn't like opening, but someone has to. You see, 98% of the women that I have met in my life, and I'm only 41, 98% have been physically or sexually abused. That's a lot. I've met a lot of women in my life. And I was one of those that was always willing to listen to what someone else had to say. And I'm not saying men don't go through it either, because they do. That's why we're in the messed up place that we are, because these entities, these parasites, are using that pain for their own energy. So this construct can't be real. It can't. It keeps doing the same things over and over. Keep voting every 2 and 4 years, thinking we're going to change the system somehow. I can't see how you can change the system. A corrupt system that's so deeply corrupt, it just has to be destroyed. There's no other way around it. You have too many people, egotistical people, psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissistic beings who want to control people's lives. And it's been going on for a very long time, it seems. I mean, if you read history, there's always been wars, always disagreeing, always, I don't know. There are a couple of tribes that I've heard, that I read about, that were totally non-violent, even though they did eat meat. Because eating meat, eating anything, I guess, would be violent, right? Because this whole construct is based on violence. Because it's come out, and it's been going on for a few years now. Science have found out that even plants have conscience, and that they feel, and they talk, maybe through their root system, vibrationally, who knows. So the vegans can't get on their high horse anymore about not eating meat. Now, I don't know, maybe maybe the plants are a higher consciousness and they let us eat them, and then they nourish us. However, there are other people, researchers, who say, well, some people need to eat meat because it's just their genetic makeup, what have you. And there are very, very few, if you ever heard of breatharians, all they do is consume air and light, the inner light, not the fake light that we've been taught, not the light down in the tunnel. Don't go to the light. You can guarantee if Hollywood is pushing light through the tunnel, it's probably not best that you go that way. Where do you go? I have no idea. But they have made death scary. They've put the skull on death, the Grim Reaper. They've made it scary. Why would you be scared to go home? Or heaven? Or Shangri-La? Whatever you want to call it. Why are you so afraid to go home? You think you've done too much sin? Possibly. Well, I don't believe in sin. I don't believe we're born with it. I never liked the concept of it. I think it's just another way to control the masses, to bend to their knees to an authority figure, to absolve their sins. And anybody who has read any kind of history, religion has been the number one cause of death and destruction and chaos. And I'm not targeting one religion, I'm targeting all religions. And if anybody thinks Buddhism is a peaceful religion, think again, because history has shown that Buddhists have done major damage to the people who wouldn't bend to the will of the Buddhist. So religion was one of them. Politics is always the next, right? When you think about the word debate, that just keeps you in the matrix. Anytime you get in an argument with anything, really, it just keeps you in the matrix. It kind of makes me sad because my people, I guess what you would call my people, what they call the Native Americans. Last year, they were fighting so hard to keep DAPL pipeline, which is the Dakota Access Pipeline. They're trying to keep it from going across territories that was the Lakota Sioux territory. Under the contract that the United States government signed in 1851, I think, Fort Laramie Treaty. And, of course, the government broke their word time and time again. And they had wars, and they finally forced the Lakota Sioux on reservations after about 20 years of war. And so the Lakota Sioux were using that to say, hey, you can't put this oil pipeline across this land because this land is ours. And of course, with the government, state and federal, they did absolutely everything to discredit those people. But now I think these people are tricked as well. If this is just a holographic image, and it's not supposed to be, then why save it? Right?